What is going on, guys? It is Saturday, February 4th. It's about 11 o'clock in the afternoon. Today I wanted to discuss 5 things to consider before you jump in, buy you a van or a bus, and hit the road and do van life. Now, major thing, a lot of people that go out and buy a Class B van, most of these people that go out, get financed, and buy a brand new Class B camper van have a little bit of change in their pocket and a little leeway with the bank. A lot of these new camper vans they're going for, I seen one the other day on Facebook for $176,000. You can literally buy a very nice house here in Wichita, Kansas for that amount of money in a very good part of town. I've seen schoolie conversions been built out, people build them out. They bought the bus for like $5,000, right? So they're trying to sell the thing that has almost 200,000 miles since they drove it all over the United States for a good 40 to 50 grand. Okay, well, they think their work's valuable. First thing to consider, money. Traveling, it might look inexpensive on Instagram or YouTube, people going out in the Arizona desert, camping for 14 days and moving and then 14 more days, or you see all these people traveling all over the United States, waking up with their van doors open, ocean view down there in California, or it costs money, and it costs a lot of money. Second thing you need to consider before jumping into van life is you're going to be in a small space, whether it be a van or a 40-foot bus. You're still going to be in a small space. If you're doing van life, solo, that's fine. If you're doing van life with your significant other, you need to really keep that in the key factor before going into this. Some people might have had 9-to-5 jobs, worked different shifts before van life. One person might have worked the morning shift, and the other person worked the evening shift, kind of like how me and my wife did it. And we hardly ever saw each other back then. And this pretty much went on for years. We did have our days off together, but that was pretty much spent, doing laundry, what we needed to do, errands, grocery shopping. That's all we ever did. Every once in a while we take a day trip. That's it. So, if you're going to do this, you're in a relationship, you're going to be in a small space. And you guys better like each other a lot. Okay, so, third thing about considering for van life would be maintenance, keeping up the costs. And this goes along with number 1. You got to keep up the maintenance on your vehicle. Now, if you've been watching YouTube for a while, you might know about this Italian couple called Leave Everything and Wander. They bought, I think it was like a $1,200 camper and a $500 truck up in Canada, and they drove it all the way down to Argentina. And it's still there today because they got locked down in Argentina and finally were able to get back to Italy. So, they had a lot of problems with that truck. It has I believe almost 1 million miles. You can go look at their channel. I'm not going to leave a link down in the description. I don't do that here. Maintenance. Yeah, they did a lot of maintenance on that truck. Just to keep it running, and maintenance costs a lot of money. So there's that to consider. Fourth thing you need to consider, in our van, we do have a shower. It's called what you call a wet bath. I can get into it. My wife can't. If she really needed to get in there, use the toilet, she could. But our van has been winterized pretty much ever since we got it. We don't use the water. The only thing we use in the van basically is the bed and the AC unit, and I have a TV in there. Because everybody, you're going to find this out, everybody's going to travel different. We traveled the more expensive way. We boondocked like 2 times. And we usually stayed at locally owned mom and pop RV parks, Good Sam parks, KOA parks. We used RV Parky a lot to find state parks and RV parks. State parks, stayed at a couple in Colorado, stayed here, Lake is where we camp out here when we're back in Wichita visiting people. But it gets expensive. It's not expensive as a hotel room, say in like Denver for a night, but it can get up there. I remember, I think it was in East Glacier National Park, there's a KOA up there, and we paid almost $90 a night, and this was pre-pandemic. So I'd really be interested, since RVing and van life took off, how much the rates are now. Probably a pretty penny, probably over 100, probably about as much as a hotel room would cost. So that kind of leads back to number one in a way. But if you are in a van that doesn't have running water or a toilet, you're going to have to figure out what you're going to do. What we did, but we hardly ever use it, is we do have Planet Fitness. I actually use it more than now that we're back in town, just to work out and get out of the house. There's Planet Fitness, 24-hour fitness. You can also shower at truck stops, but please make sure truckers get first dib. Most of them are $15, I believe. We never did truck stops. But yeah, you gotta figure that out. Let's see, the fifth thing. Fifth thing you're gonna have to worry about, which could be a big deal while you're on the road, is getting your mail. We did general delivery in Chalma, Mexico for a package, and that's about it. We pretty much had all of our mail sent to my wife's grandmother's house, and we just let it pile up there until we got back in town, and we went and got it. So that's how we did that. Yeah, that's about 5 things. So just keep in mind, YouTube, Instagram makes van life, nomadic life look glorious. In reality, it's fun to travel, but you're going to need a lot of money, and you're going to have a little bit of stability up here to deal with what happens on the road, because anything can happen, and it can happen fast and bad. I put a link in the description about our video when we broke down in Colorado Springs, and my wife had to actually push the van through a construction zone that had just had a 5-car pileup, past the cops, past the cars, up an off-ramp, and up around a corner to the Harley Davidson dealership in Colorado Springs when our van broke down, coming from Trinidad to Denver. Was it Trinidad? Well, no, we were at Lathrop State Park, so Wallensburg. Anyway, anything can happen on the road. Hope these 5 things gave you something to look at. I know my glasses are crooked. It's because I'm a cheapskate, and I refuse to go get new glasses yet. Plus, I'm getting ready to go back to work. I don't want to ruin new glasses there. Hope that these 5 things helped. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe. Talk to you guys later.